Hello and welcome to iGame613, and today I have a very interesting video for you. Now, I highly recommend you watch this one to the end because it's going to have multiple theories, and I need your guys' help to actually say in the comments below which one of these three theories you think is most plausible, which one you think is most likely. Obviously, I do have my own opinion, which I may interject into this video and let you guys know what I believe more. That'll obviously be towards the end of the video. But yeah, let me know what you guys think of these. I have very good information and evidence of each theory, so it could actually be a case that it's all three. However, let's get into the video and work this out. So, for those who don't know, this video is actually about a cube. Now, this cube has been found and mainly highlighted by Robin Rams in the GTA Mystery community. And Robin Rams is a very credible YouTuber. He has over 100,000 subscribers, and he finds very cool things in his videos and shows them all off. Now, what he was actually showing off in this video was this cube that you can find in an app called Codewalker. Now, Codewalker is an app for PC, and if you have GTA 5 for PC, you can actually use this app, and you can go through the actual files of GTA 5 in like a 3D universe. So it's kind of like using NoClip, but in like a world that's not actually having to load up GTA 5. It just loads up all the files from it, and you can see like a 3D world, and you go through and you click on what you want, and it'll tell you what the item is called. And that's basically how it works. Now, he actually got a tip off by a guy called Your Honor that if you go to the southwest of the map and you go to where the LSIA airport is, and you go right underground, right underneath the seabed even, you can actually find a cube that says this does not exist on it. Now, this was very interesting. Robin Rams didn't really know what to make of it. He literally added it into like a little mystery things that people might not even know about video type thing. And yeah, it was a very cool little thing. So then people started to interject their little theories, and the biggest theory that came along was that people thought, well, maybe it's just like a little Easter egg, like in the old GTAs where you get, there's no Easter eggs up here, go away, or the ones in like GTA 3 where it says you're not supposed to get here, and this kind of stuff. And there was even one in GTA 4 which said no hidden content this way, and then you could actually walk through the actual invisible door and get up some ladders to find the heart of Liberty City. So this is actually very plausible that could be an actual theory of what this actually is. But Robin Rams, being the YouTuber that he is, he decided to say, well, it's obvious that you can't even get to this location even with mods. However, Robin Rams made it his mission to find this cube. Now, he actually got a message on Twitter a few days later, I believe it was, by a guy called David Turonis. And this guy, David Turonis, he said that he actually found the cube, but it's not actually in like a cube shape, it's just a square shape. And he found it back in 2015, I believe he said. Now, this cube is in a totally different location, and basically what you want to do is go up to the quarry. I'll actually show you a map on screen right now of where to go to. And it's kind of like you'll find this little island, and you want to rest your cursor arrow right on top of it, and then slide it right across to the furthest point you can get on the actual side of the map. And then that is exactly where this point is. Now, Ram showed this off in his video, and it came to like a massive conclusion that this is probably just a little Easter egg saying, hey, this does not exist, even though it actually does, because it's right there in front of you. So it's kind of a little cool little thing there, and yeah. But one of the things that Robin Rams did find out back in Codewalker days was that this file, whatever I call it, did have a different name. And it's a pretty interesting name because it was called H1 Blimp-CE. Now, that is a weird name. And the guy told Robin Rams he has to use a blimp to go up there. Now, what people haven't really said right now is if you can use other vehicles to get up there, and I'll get into that in a little bit in this video. However, it's been found, and here it is. I'll show you on screen in like a 3D thing, because I've actually found it in the GTA 5 mod viewer, which is called OpenIV. And obviously this is made for GTA 4 originally, but you can use GTA 5 as well. And here you go, here's the cube. Now this is the cube that you could find right underneath the airport. And it's pretty basic. It's just like a normal cube, well, as you'd expect, maybe like a dice or a die, however you want to pronounce it. But yeah, this does not exist. And you'll notice it's kind of blurry. Now I'll get into that in a bit. As you can see, it says H1 Blimp CE. Now, what H1 actually stands for is Hollywood. Now, the reason why you're thinking, well, why is it called Hollywood if it's called Vinewood in GTA? Well, basically what they do is, because all the developers of the game, and there's so many of them, if you've actually watched the credits, they take about 45 minutes to 48 minutes, which is a whole day in GTA 5 to actually watch them. And it's pretty crazy when you think of it that way. But basically, all the developers aren't going to know the actual real place names in GTA 5, but they will know the place names in real life. So they'll call it just the real place name, just for whilst they're developing the game, and it's pretty easy for them to work out what the place is meant to look like and what the place is actually based on. So it's Hollywood 1 Blimp CE. Now CE, I don't understand what that actually stands for. I'm pretty sure it's somewhat obvious, but I don't actually know. Maybe it's Cube Entity or something, I don't know. That could be it, I don't know. And then the YDR, that is the file type, so that's basic. But it's the main factor of it is that the word blimp appears. Now, I've actually found this cube myself, and then I could never find it again in the code walker, and unfortunately I wasn't actually recording at that point. So, yeah, the pictures that you saw were from Robin Mum's video. Thank you, Robin, even though I didn't ask permission. But you got your credit. And then anyway, yeah, so it's just crazy. Then you actually find out you've actually got all these files here in that actual Blimp folder. So the actual path is here. You go to OpenIV, open up your GTA 5, X64J, Levels, GTA 5, City E, Hollywood 1, and then Hollywood 1 Blimp RPF. And then you'll find all these files here. And the next one you get is this one here. Now this is explaining why it's actually blurry. As you can see, it's not very blurry there. It's very small though. And it's because it's a 64 by 64 file. And you'll notice here, if you read the top here, it says RS-NOS, which I'm pretty sure that doesn't mean Raleigh Sports Nitrous Oxide, but whatever. And it says this does not exist. So the misspell exists there. I don't know if that's a typo or if that's some kind of clue to us. I don't actually understand why they'd make a typo though. So, I don't know. It's hidden in the files, so maybe it's just something they didn't really care about because nobody would actually see it. And maybe this is also another thing. If this is actually meant to be cut content that we don't actually need in the game, maybe they tried searching for this does not exist and then they couldn't find it, so they thought, okay, someone must have deleted it already. But the actual factor is that it's spelt wrong, so they wouldn't actually be able to find the file. I don't know. Maybe that's the case, maybe it's not. But yeah, it's pretty interesting. Then you go to your next one, and this is just a blank cube, as you can see, well, blank square even. But if you actually add this, then it'll add the texture, and you'll notice it says this doesn't exist, and then you misread that there as shit first, but whatever. That's not actually what it says, it's just the reflected version of this. So look, and you can see it. Now this is what you actually do find in the sky, right near where the quarry is. And you can only see this bit which is on top, and then if you try looking underneath here, you will not see this here. You'll just see invisible straight through, and it'll be like the sky. It's just how the textures like this work in GTA, and the reason why you do actually see it here is probably because this is the one that's pasted on the side of the actual cube, and the cube doesn't have any visible way from the inside, so that's just how it's going to work on this. Then you go to your next folder, and this is just a blank square again. You can add the texture to it, we don't need to though. But what I did find interesting was the one here. Now this is called LOD Cargo Interior R, and you can see that there's Cargo Interior here, and you may be interested in it at first, but I'm going to get you even more interested. Now this is theory number 1, and if we actually click here, you'll see these two white things pop up, and we'll just add the texture to them. Let's see if we can find that, though it's not Blimp, This one, there it is. Now, yeah, that's just added that cargo texture to it, and these look like little cargo bays. You may assume, okay, well that's off that cargo plane from the mission Minor Turbulence, but you're being correct, because that's actually in a total separate location. That's in the same folders as the UFOs. I don't believe they are related, but it's just part of like the I can't remember what the actual files are called, but it's just that kind of area or something, I believe it is. So it mixes them both together. Now we can actually get inside these using this actual app I've got here, and yeah, it's pretty low res, but I'm pretty sure if they were to actually make these a thing in GTA, they would have actually high-resed them up a bit and made it a bit more sweeter. You do actually recognise as well when you actually look through these files that a lot of this stuff is like, you get like a low-res version and a really high-res version. So I reckon that would be the case if they did actually keep this in. But yeah, so this is part of the blimp. It's obviously right up here, it even says it, blimp CPR 003. And yeah, it's pretty interesting. You might be thinking, why is this interesting? I looked it up, and cargo blimps were a thing that they were saying that everyone in the world will probably use for cargo. And they came out in 2010, and GTA 5 was starting progression of being made in 2010. Now that is pretty interesting, I think. And they believe that by 2020 these cargo blimps will be used worldwide for military cargo and all this other kind of cargo that goes around the world. I don't believe it will myself, because why would you use a blimp when you've got more armoured planes and stuff that you can use to cargo planes about, cargo stuff about, should I say. But yeah, why would they have a cargo blimp in GTA? I don't really know. Maybe you steal it from the military and you've got a load of military vehicles in it. Maybe it was an alternative version of Minor Turbulence, and instead of racing into a plane you have to race into the back of a blimp. And it's like, okay, you have to pick the hub that you want to go for, so you can go this way and it'll be easier but it's harder to get into, or this way it's easier to get into but it's harder to get up to the top. I don't know. It's pretty interesting. I'd highly recommend you Google up some cargo blimps. I'll probably put just a little link in the description to some of them as well. But they are pretty interesting, definitely worth looking into. And yeah, were we actually meant to get a cargo blimp? And then what this cube is actually referencing? Because it's definitely in the same folders, and it's definitely linked, because it's all got the same name. As you can see, all this line here is exactly the same, all these first two lines. And then you get CE, and then you get CPR. Now these CPRs here, they are the interior of a course. Then you've got a drawable object, which is a cube. Now this doesn't allow you to add the texture to it, I don't believe, which is pretty odd. And as you can see, nothing comes up. And the same goes for this one here. But these are both classified as null, as you can see, null 1 and null 2. So maybe it's just a thing that has actually been cut from the content. So I don't know. One thing I do think is worth mentioning is all these YouTubers that you've seen showcase this so far, they've all gone up to this square with the blimp. Now I don't know if they've tried it with other vehicles or whatever so far, but myself, I've always thought, well, these guys are all just using blimps. So I thought, let's go try this with a helicopter. So I picked up a Frogger and went straight up to the actual pinpoint location, and I found nothing. There was no square whatsoever. There was no text or anything just there on its own. It was just blank sky, absolutely nothing. So I decided to circle around the area a little bit, see if anything was just out of location a little bit. But there was absolutely nothing. It doesn't make any sense. I was like, what the hell are you doing to me? So I go right back to the ground, and I come back up with a Swift, and the Swift did not find anything either. It's the same story all along. So it made me go back down to the ground again, and I pick up the Zero blimp. Now the Zero blimp I fly all the way over, take it right to the top of the sky, thinking, well, maybe it was just a glitch earlier, maybe it just doesn't want to appear today, and I thought it wouldn't appear with the blimp again, but lo and behold, it appeared. So I went and looked at it and thought, okay, well, you obviously do need the blimp to actually come and see it. And then I thought, well, this square is actually called HW1 blimp, so what the hell is the connection? So I looked in the files and I could not find any connections whatsoever between that and the actual blimp model files, and it's just pretty weird how it works out like that, and it just is pretty weird. I don't know what else to say about it. Other than that, there isn't much more I could say about the actual blimp in game itself, other than the fact that a smart spot myself was, if you go downtown, just park yourself on top of the maze bank. You can use anything to get up there, I don't care what you do, clip yourself up there if you want, and just look at the blimp that flies around. Now this one's an atomic blimp, and I've not actually tried using this one to actually get up to the this doesn't exist sign. However, maybe I should do that. Maybe I'll leave the findings that I get in the description below or something, if I do bother to do that. But one thing that I did notice on it is, if you look at it, use your sniper rifle, use your camera phone, or just look at it plainly, but just get yourself a nice little steady view on it. Do not zoom in, because if you zoom in, the thing will disappear. Now just look at it carefully and you'll notice there's like a black square. I'm going to try and add a picture of that into this video, and it's either a black square or smudged writing. Now that, to me, I assume would be the pasting of the actual texture of the "this does not exist" sign. I don't know why it'd be there, but if you try zooming in on game, then the actual block will vanish and it'll just be a nice smooth blue and yellow atomic blimp. But if you actually try taking a screenshot and then zooming it in Photoshop, or using any type of thing that you can zoom in on photos with, then you'll actually notice that the smudgy black writing thing turns into nothing. It just blurs like that, and it's all just not readable. So that's basically all I found from that, and it's very unfortunate myself. I think that this hasn't turned out to be anything so far, other than possibly a "this doesn't exist" type of sign saying, look at this. But we've got quite a few of them already in game. I can do a separate video on that if you really want me to, but it's a thing where I think it is literally a case that it was just to cut content from a GTA mission. I believe personally that you'd steal the blimp from it's obviously a cargo blimp, don't forget. You steal the cargo blimp from the military base. It has probably been that huge big back hangar, and you have to turn off the semi-automatic shooting you down missiles or something as well, just as you did in GTA San Andreas on the Black Project mission. And then you take that blimp, you steal it, you take it to your lockup, and then on a separate mission, that'll be obviously be like a setup mission, but on the actual main mission you would have to go steal cars from Vinewood, and I'm guessing that's why it'd be called HW1 blimp, for Hollywood 1 blimp. That's all I can really think it would be. It does actually make sense, and it does sound like a pretty cool mission stream, in my opinion. I'd actually enjoy playing that. So I don't know if that is the case or not, but like we know, there is actually certain missions and heists and stuff that have been cut from the game, like the Shmuta job, where you actually go dress up as a clown and act like a gay couple with Trevor and Michael for Martin Madrazo, I believe that would have been. And yeah, it's just all pretty weird and interesting. Other than that, there's not really much more I can say on this whole situation. If you have any theories of your own, pop them in the comments below, and I'll be sure to read and maybe even reply to them. I do reply to most of the things. However, that is it. So thanks very much for watching, and goodbye.